SK Telecom T1 versus Samsung Blue. I like where this cast is going already.
It just doesn't make any sense, as it were, because he hasn't changed his ID. Now, he has changed his ID multiple times. Solo Chunyang used to be a jungler, but they moved him over to support and got Spirit in there. Spirit's looking pretty sharp right now. And
whoa, LeBlanc banned against Faker. Interesting.
Well,
I mean, he's good on LeBlanc, but still, I feel like there's other more prominent bans to worry about.
And they're banning the Rumble against Chunju as well. That is his main champion. And I'm curious if the Nidalee's going to get through today, because Pawn has been playing some pretty high-level Nidalee, and Deft is an AD carry that is very well situated to this new Trinity Force meta. One of the top Ezreal players here in Korea. Always very impressive. And there we go. The Nidalee first pick taken up immediately.
Yeah, they may want to grab Ezreal away, because that combination between the Nidalee Spear and the True Shot Barrage can mean a ton of damage on a single target. That's what we've been seeing players and teams do already in this tournament, so we'll see.
And MVP, or excuse me, I just did it too. Samsung Blue has been the team in the qualifiers. Now, the qualifiers were played on the live realm. Lucian is not available on the tournament realm yet, but they were using a Trinity Force Lucian in conjunction with Nidalee in order to get some pretty awesome sieges going in the earlier stages of this tournament.
Oh, there's a Corki lock-in as well as the Elite. So, I mean, Corki, of course, a really high contested champion right now. Another powerful Trinity Force AD carry. We'll see what SK Telecom decides to pick up in response.
Yeah, so far, looks like we will be seeing that siege composition coming in again from Samsung Blue. This has been their bread and butter recently, and that's what got them here.
Faker's Sense right now just says, "Welcome to my nightmare."
Well, and Lee Sin and Orianna, standard as standard can be for SK Telecom T1. Grabbing that mid lane pickup. Once he saw the Nidalee come in, that should be a pretty safe lane for Faker to run with right here. And his most played champion so far in his professional career as well. So something that he's incredibly comfortable on.
And speaking of comfort, Shen, a pretty comfortable pick for really anybody these days.
Right, and if they know the siege comp is coming in, this gives them a lot of opportunities to split push right now, because odds are that Samsung Blue is going to go for a 5-man poke composition, and so having the Shen able to create pressure on the other lanes but still show up with Stand United is a really good tool in order to deal with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like the Sona going to be one of the final pickups for Samsung Blue. We'll see. And the Renekton.
Yeah, the Renekton is, they pretty much have to pick that now in order to deal with this Shen. So I like that, matching him up in lane. Now we saw just yesterday Najin Shield using that Tiamat first Renekton against Shen to constantly shove him in. And that really nullified the split pushing capabilities of Shen. I thought it was a great idea, and it was a really nice way to control it. You can also make sure that you're constantly next to Shen in order to stun him if he starts to use that Stand United.
Yep, they are going to lock that in. So one final pick going over at SK Telecom T1. And who's it going to be?
They need a support with some disengage right here. And Zyra's down and out. So we may see a Thresh pickup or a Leona.
Oh, that's aggressive, but I like it. I was wondering if maybe, even though a Nami wouldn't fit as well into this, I mean, Mandu is a great Nami player, but Leona?
The Leona pick does make sense. If you're not going to go for that disengage in case the siege composition, you want something that has a lot of hard engage so that you can get into that back line
and got a lot.
Make the plays you need to make. So I like it. It also gives you a way to get the Orianna ball into the back line as well.
Yep.
So that all-in potential. If you want to deal with a poke composition, you have to have either some way to safely defend turrets, or alternatively some way to kind of all in them. And so the Leona pickup is going to be quite effective here against the poke coming out of Samsung Blue. So
Leona and Lee Sin are going to be pretty good vehicles to get Shen into the back lines too. So they've got multiple ways to do a little bit of insurance just in case Lee Sin can't get back there. Leona's got a pretty good chance. So there's our final rosters once again in Stretchovision. This is apparently just what we do here now, I guess. But as you can see, pretty solid rosters for both teams. Why, Faker, have you lost weight?
He has, all that healthy eating in America.
I wouldn't advise that. He's probably only I think he's only like 90 pounds anyway.
Well,
dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the compositions, and it'll be interesting to see Pumandu playing Leona. Not a champion that we typically see him on, but an exciting change of pace.
All right, well, guys, it's time to rave our way into game number 1. SK Telecom T1 versus Samsung Blue. Let's get in the game. I feel like I should be waving around glow sticks or something like that in that pre-intro music. All right, here we go, guys. Samsung Blue versus SK Telecom T1, set 1 out of this best of 3. MVP Blue has, like you put it earlier, Monte Cristo, a bit of a mountain to climb if they want to take down League of Legends Season 3 World Champions. It's not going to be easy.
It certainly won't be, but something to look for here in this game. I'm curious what they're going to do with this Leona pick. Now, Leona, they want the 2v2 lane, because if you have melee all in and you just push somebody under turret, it doesn't give you a lot of it doesn't give you a lot of options in terms of utilizing Leona's skill set and her all-in potential early on.
Yeah.
And also, because she's a melee support, it's a lot harder to go ahead and siege those turrets, so you'll probably lose your turret faster in the 2v1 situation. So right now, SK Telecom should be looking for that 2v2, and conversely, Blue really wants the 2v1.
Yeah.
And also, another thing to look for here, and when we get into the late game, is I'm curious how Mandu's going to play this. He really has two options here. Does he, during the siege, is he going to choose to come in from the front, or is he going to try and get some sort of flank to come in onto the back line from the side?
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we did see Watch play that jungle Leona.
No,
didn't work terribly well.
That was ugly.
I would imagine the solar flares from Mandu are going to be a little bit more on target.
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, not to go too much into that game, but Watch, if you don't have an early game presence as Jungle Leona, you've pretty much entirely screwed it up, and Watch entirely screwed it up, so.
It's too bad. And so, looks like the red buff going to be first one taken for Spirit.
Well, this is interesting. So the ward at red is going to tell SK Telecom that they are going to get that dual lane at the bottom, and we saw that ward go deep for Samsung Blue, but it's not going to actually serve them very well. Will they rotate here, or are they just going to stick with it, is the next question.
So far, it looks like they're going to stick with it, but we'll see. They've still got a little bit of time to make a decision there. And it, really is about Chunju, too. Can he put the sort of aggression onto Shen that we saw yesterday? Is he going to go ahead and get the pickaxe first and just try to keep Shen locked up and push back in lane?
Yeah, and this is the situation, too, that you want to be in if you're a Samsung Blue right now, is just close by your turret. It eliminates a lot of the threat from that Leona, because you're not going to be able to dive with her very effectively early. So Samsung Blue looking like they're in a good position so far in the laning phase, especially if they can freeze the lane right where it is close to their turret.
Right. I mean, we've seen really dangerous laning from SK Telecom throughout their career, but I feel like where the real danger comes in is once the team starts moving kind of as a unit, not just the plays they can make, but just how they push every single situation to the utmost gain for their team. And just the way these guys can close out games too. Well, you can survive the laning phase against SK Telecom, but it's really what comes after that's a big concern.
Yeah, we can see Faker already pushing his lane quite aggressively, using that AoE that Orianna has to deny some CS from Pawn right here, and also creates a nice big minion shield for him to hide behind and eat less spears in that situation. So it is kind of risky, though, and as we can see, Chunju already roaming.
Guys coming down. Faker's in a little bit of trouble here. There's the stun. Faker in a lot of trouble now. Can he get position to flash? Oh, he flashes into the brush, but he's not going to fool Pawn. First blood goes to Samsung Blue.
And that was a great roaming decision there from Chunju. Now, he didn't get the kill, and his lane did get shoved in. Faker looks a little peeved right now.
I would feel that way, yeah.
But that's the risk you run, and that was just great play calling from Samsung Blue to react to that situation. Pawn saying, hey, he's pushing me in right here. He's playing way too aggressively. No wards. He hasn't gotten that first back yet. And Chunju reacting with a roam, and that is something that we so rarely see from top laners here in Korea. We almost never see a top laner do that kind of roaming, so it did catch SK Telecom a bit off guard.
Well, it just goes to show, I mean, like we were talking about before the games began, I mean, SK Telecom, yeah, they are the world champions, they're a great team, but you really cannot underestimate anybody. And here comes Spirit coming into bot lane. Piglet needs to make a run for it. Can they catch him with the cocoon? No, nice dodge from Piglet. Nice little juke, did not get hit by that. And looks like him and Mandu are going to be just fine for now.
Yeah, I really love that play that we saw right there. Shoving the lane so aggressively into Impact's turret, and then going ahead and using that kind of route through the SK Telecom jungle to help pick up that kill and help spawn out too. He's got that chalice now with that first blood gold, and so it's going to be a lot more difficult for Faker to deal with this Nidalee pick. Bengi now coming around through the tribe rush.
Yeah, but Spirit's coming right through there as well. They're going to find him. He's going to need to be careful, yeah, and everyone's just going to back off. We'll see if there's any action. Deft coming in. Mandu taking some damage after that Zenith Blade in. Bengi needs to back off. That didn't work out too well.
Well, Mandu actually missed his Zenith Blade right there, so it wasn't an optimal engage, and SK Telecom already making a couple of mistakes here in this game.
Yeah. You need to be careful. You got to take everything seriously. Interesting.
And Bengi doing what Bengi does. Spirit Stone, no boots yet, and instead of getting boots, he opts to spend his gold on a green and a pink ward right here, getting that vision control so he could do a little bit of counter jungling and dropping wards all the way through that jungle. So he's going to continue to make very aggressive plays. They want to use this Leona to its utmost potential here in the laning phase to pick up some kills if they can. But
I think especially after that first blood that Faker gave up, they're really feeling some pressure to make some plays themselves in the early game. We'll see if they can. Chunju still pushing really aggressively in that top lane. I feel like we're starting to really see a bit of an evolution in the Renekton top.
Ooh, look at this.
Playstyle,
yeah, Faker coming back to lane right now. And I really like what we saw there from Samsung Blue. After they shoved the lane, they knew that they didn't have any wards and they were in a dangerous position, and Bengi might be camping them. So they just went and did the little golems, waited for the lane to come back and freeze. This is just great solid play if you're going up against a Leona.
Oh, there's a cocoon. Bengi gets jumped on. A lot of damage put on him by Spirit. He needs to safeguard over the wall, but there's Repel. Chasing him down. Bengi in a bit of trouble. Can he catch him? Can he get the execute? Forces the flash. Meanwhile, Pawn 1v1s Faker. No way. I got to see the replay of that.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty impressive replay right there. And Faker used his Ignite, had his flash down from earlier, and Pawn, of course, with that barrier, able to easily absorb all of that damage coming out. And this is why we've seen those Nidalee bans come down against Samsung Blue, because Pawn is a monster with this Nidalee.
He's an absolutely great Nidalee player. Looks like they might try to dive Impact here, and then Pawn comes in with the spear to add the damage, and Chunju pops the ultimate. He's going to be fine despite the Ignite. And man, what a start for Samsung Blue.
Yeah, they are just doing everything right here. Let's take a look at what happened. Faker from full health as well.
Yeah.
And Faker comes in with the auto harass, speeding it up a little bit, trying to wait and see what happens. Whoop. Okay, so Faker tries to, he plays way too aggressively right here. He gets hit by a lot of that minion damage, and Pawn just turns around and hits him with a point-blank spear to the face.
Yeah, that was bizarre. I mean, the positioning of that 1v1 is not good for Faker at all, walking right into him for that shockwave. No need for that, man. That did not work out. This has suddenly become a very interesting match, though.
Yeah, it has. Well, in spite of all of that, Faker has kept up in CS, and Bengi's still a little bit up on CS as well. So not the end of the world. It's only about 1,000 gold down for SK Telecom T1 right here, but they continue.
Yeah, wait, no, that's impossible. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that was the Leona
shield,
W exploding right there. Just caught the end of that. And Spirit now coming in for another gank. Now there's some good wards right there. Oh, Piglet getting a little over-eager.
Yeah, Def very low. I feel like SKT's really feeling the pressure. Now Bengi going in, diving into the turret, taking a lot of damage. And can he live long enough? That's very low. Are they going to get the double? They will. Stand United coming down on Bengi, allowing them to pick up that double kill in the bot lane.
Yeah, Spirit's coming in, though, with 4, though. I really like what we saw right there. Mandu saved his Zenith Blade in order to pick up that second kill and make sure that...
Faker gets taken out by Pawn again. He's going to get out.
Well, that surprised me again, and wow, Faker not having the best game, but Pawn absolutely dominating him.
Yeah. This is going to be a game Pawn tells his grandkids about, I think.
And look at this, already starting that Dragon as well. Pawn coming to help out. Since SK Telecom was so low and Pawn managed to get that solo kill onto Faker, they're going to get Dragon and they're going to get top turret from this. So in spite of those 2 kills going down, this is actually a net win for Samsung Blue here.
Oh yeah, huge win. I mean, Chunju getting to take that top turret, Impact having to stand united down that bot lane. Things going all Samsung Blue's way right now.
And their play calling has been spot on so far this game. Even the little things like deft in sense, not wanting to take any risks against that Leona, being very cautious about how they extend into that bottom lane.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you guys play against a Leona in solo queue too, this is some great advice that you can take from this game about just going back when you have that Leona, not even giving her any opportunities, because if she can't do anything in that laning phase, it really, really hurts her later on.
Nothing's more frustrating when your carry is, when you're up against a Leona and your carry like doesn't get it, you keep pushing the lane. You're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna play save the carry this game.
Yeah. And here we go, the siege is starting, and this is the real danger of this composition. No need to worry about Impact with Stand United down, so Chunju is gonna take some hits right there, and it's not going to stop either. I mean, SK Telecom has to react to this.
Yeah, they do. Spears coming in, doing a lot of damage. They're going to continue to try to push this tier 2 turret. Piglet coming up through river now. It looks like at the moment, Blue's going to back off a bit.
Yeah, so they get the turret without even having Corki there, which is another big win because they're allowing him to freeze that lane and farm deep, just get more and more CS, work up to that Trinity Force.
Yeah, and in that regard, Piglet is still a little bit ahead. He does already have 2 pieces of that, whereas only the Phage right now for Deft.
No, but it'll change very quickly because he's getting a lot more CS right now, catching up just a little bit right there. And Pawn still having a great game, so it's going to be difficult here, especially since Renekton already completing that Sunfire, not going for the Tiamat.
Yep.
But he has enough of a lead right now that he'll be able just to push harder, considering he does have that AoE clear in addition to the fast Sunfire. So he'll be able to put enough pressure onto Impact this game to keep him bottled up at that tier 2 turret.
We're heading into a really interesting mid game. I mean, this is going to be a pretty big test of SK Telecom's abilities to be able to come back from something like this. I mean, it's not a huge deficit yet, but it's definitely going to be a bit challenging. But if there's one thing we're used to, it's SK Telecom losing the first game in a best of and then coming back and winning. So this is really kind of par for the course for these guys.
Well, I think this just is a testament to how far Samsung Blue has come too, because it's not just the individual plays in this game, it's been the overall strategy. It's been the overall shot calling and decision making has been top notch from them this game. And that's great to see that other teams in Korea are kind of reaching that top level of shot calling.
Oh yeah, this next season of Champions is going to be incredible. Can't wait. Shot Barrage comes down to try to take out a lot of that minion wave. It will. They're going to get some damage out of this turret.
No, they're going to get a lot of damage onto this turret.
Another wave comes in.
Yeah, and with Faker a little bit slow to react right there, they do have that vision advantage too. They can't all in this. Good disengage. No, they can't with Crescendo up, so. Okay. Well, Faker actually just backing off right here. Moving around the safe way through the jungle, not knowing exactly where this Renekton is right now. And that turns out to be a very smart move.
It's bizarre to look at the score and see Faker being 0-3-0 right now. That's not something I expected seeing coming into this today.
Yeah, and look at this, already taking the blue as well. They can hand that off to Nidalee. Pawn going to go ahead and take that up, and that is just... Oh, Chunju gets caught out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. They're going to come in. Bengi walking in. He's walking into a 3v4. There's Solar Flare coming down. Faker evens the team fight up. Mandu getting into the back lines a little bit. Sense waiting. Hasn't used Crescendo just yet. Mandu getting very low. There's the Crescendo. Does go down. Locks up Faker and Piglet quite nicely. Def coming in with the cannon. Now they get Impact. It's going to be 2 kills to 0 in favor of Blue.
And this isn't going to stop the siege either. We're going to rotate very, very quickly. Def still at a lot of HP. Pawn, of course, able to heal himself up right now as he goes down. Takes some damage from the turret, though. Oops. Needs to shove that lane a little bit first, but they'll catch up with the wave. They will get the turret, and they will be in an extremely comfortable position here at 14 minutes into this game.
Pretty amazing game so far from Samsung Blue. Let's check out that. Let's look at that team fight.
Yeah. And Chunju coming in. Mandu going to get the Stand United down onto him right there, but unable to engage. So Shen's not going to get into the back lines. Not the world's best solar flare either. Impact forced to flash in order to get the engage down, but Chunju just absolutely tearing through people with Dominus and Sunfire Cape right now. And Pawn doing a very good job in the back. Impact gets Valked on, goes down, and that'll be that for the team fight.
Yeah. I think that was a really intelligent move, too, by Deft at the end to go after and finish off Impact rather than to chase down Piglet and Faker. They were low health, but he identified who was the sure kill, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a good move. And this is one of those things where Bengi has no items now because, again, he's done his Bengi thing and gone for the pretty quick boots of ability. That said, Spirit has gone for fast sword shoes here, and after starting with that Doran's Blade. So pretty aggressive build. It's going to be a high damage Elise with that extra cooldown reduction coming with the Kindle Gem. Much more of an assassin-style jungler than we normally see.
Yeah. And Impact finally putting some damage onto that top turret. We'll see if SK Telecom can start pushing back a little bit. That'll be easy.
This Nidalee's getting extremely dangerous. Needlessly large rod already in the pocket. You can see how far ahead he is right now.
Yeah, Faker doesn't even have the beans done yet.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty bad situation right here.
Yep. And another dragon gonna go towards the Samsung Blue side of things.
The Spirit not exactly taking dragon damage with his Spiderlings too well right there, but it's all right. He's got some sustain from Sona. And on, oh, Faker.
Ouch.
Taking another spear to the face.
Yeah. Chunju continuing to harass in that top lane as well, and now this 2-2 turn, a little bit of trouble again.
Yeah, tossing out some more spears, and this is where the siege comp gets very, very scary.
Yeah, especially because you've got Chunju possibly coming in from the back too. Going to be able to get right onto Piglet. Oh no, they do find Impact in that back lane. There's a stun. Can they capitalize on this? Trying to maybe draw the fight into the jungle a little bit too. Nope, they're going to let Shen go.
What's great about this is Chunju is here every time Stand United is down with no hesitation. You know, he's not kind of autopilot pushing that top lane.
Yeah.
He's taking advantage of that cooldown really nicely. This is just great team play. Wow, Mandu nearly eats it from that spear.
Yeah, he's got to be really careful. That's going to take a lot of his health off right now. Oh, man. Man, that spear just luckily stopped existing before it got to Faker.
Yeah, SK Telecom is fortunate that there's no blue buff on Pawn right now. He's already running out of mana, which is the danger. You really have to focus on pushing with that blue buff. Chunju just going to tank the turret. They know they need to get this down. Not too many spears left. That was another smart move there by Blue. They had pushed out Mandu earlier on in that fight, and they said, Chunju, you need to go in. Pawn's out of mana. We can't maintain this siege. We have to take the turret now. Went ahead, tanked the turret a little bit, got the tower. Now they get to go back. And this is a very clean game from Samsung Blue. It's like they've absorbed all of Ozone's powers.
I was going to say, yeah. It's like they gave him a mouse, but it's kind of like Space Jam, where it like sucks out Dade's like mid lane abilities. I wonder if that happened for Worlds even.
Pawn took them.
Yeah.
Well, I like how Pawn actually went for the Merc Treads this game as well. That just ensures that he's going to be able to escape any situation where he deals with the Shen Taunt or the Leona CC.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, Faker, if that would have hit, that could have very well been a dead Faker.
You mean another dead Faker?
Another dead Faker for the 4th time this game.
Chunju causing a little havoc right now, but not going to be too much right there as the battle of the tanks doesn't result in a whole hell of a lot.
Yep.
So the next siege target looks like it will be this bottom turret. Piglet going to go ahead and recall. They may be just waiting for the blue buff to respawn right here.
Yeah.
So they can make sure to pass it off over to Pawn. That's one thing about Nidalee compositions. You absolutely must maintain control of the blue buff.
Yep.
So it'll be activated there by True Shot Barrage. No way of sniping it now. Bengi probably not going to take the risk. He's far too squishy.
Yeah, it'd be way too big of a risk at the moment.
But here we go. Blue buff. Oh, Spirit acquired it.
Whoops.
Well, yeah, not the world's best result, but with how far ahead they are, they should be able to easily take this tower anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the tiny little mistakes are just that, you know, very tiny. They're going to back off a little bit. They don't exactly know where everybody is just yet. No minion wave, but that turret already almost dead, and Chunju Now split pushing in the mid lane. Such a dangerous circumstance right now.
Yeah, they have to be very careful about Sense as well. His flash is up. He can flash crescendo that back line if need be. Vengi gets caught out a little bit.
Yeah, he does. And actually, Mondu going in really deep. Solar Flare misses everybody. Stand United coming onto Mondu. They want to get back onto Def. They do nearly. On the back line, gets kicked into the fight, but everybody already on the run. There's going to be the ult from Orianna, but it doesn't matter. Faker's already dead, and Def coming in to clean up the rest of this fight. So many low members. Spears coming in. Looks like everybody but Faker survives, but they're not going to be able to save this turret. That's the main objective. Winning team fights is nice, but they want to just keep pushing.
Yeah, it would have been better, and probably that fight would have gone better. And Samsung
Oh,
well,
they got him
Pawn
anyway.
actually
Oh,
takes him out. If Nidalee had that blue buff, but they are so far ahead at this point that it may not really matter. And
No.
wow, Samsung Blue showing up to play today.
No kidding. They do not look intimidated by SKT one bit.
No, they don't. And it would be pretty shocking if they could actually take SK Telecom T1 out in
Yeah,
this best
seriously.
of three.
Well, I mean, to be fair, SK Telecom could use a vacation, but I don't think they want to take one just yet. All they have to do is win today and Friday, and then they've got, about a month until the global finals, so
Right.
we'll see.
Now Chunju completing that Spirit Visage. He's pretty far up on Impact at this point in time.
Yep, getting that good vision control.
And here we go, trying to maintain the control over the Baron, make sure that SK Telecom doesn't have any way of getting back into this game.
Yeah, I got to say, the Nidalee Spears are probably like one of the most terrifying looking projectiles as well in the game. You just see that thing coming, especially with the skin, and it's pretty frightening. This is like Predator cosplay Nidalee, I think, is the name of the
Oh,
season.
right. Yeah, I think that's
I think so.
I think that's the name.
Pretty sure.
Just like they're changing Rengar's name to Predator soon.
That's right. Changing Kha'Zix's name to Alien, I think.
Yep.
Word on the street, anyway. How about a bug hunt with creatures that bleed acid?
Okay, well, they're going to go ahead and shove the lanes in one more time. Not too concerned with the Baron, and that makes a lot of sense. They really can't have anybody getting into the back line. Piglet, wow.
Man, he put that pig on a skewer. He's going to rotisserie that one.
Yeah, it's like a Hawaiian barbecue in this game.
That's right. Making me hungry for a solo queue.
Okay, well, Dragon going to go over to MVP Blue one more time. That'll increase their lead to 10,000 here at 22 minutes.
This is just insane. This is not the game I was expecting we would see, but I'm so impressed by Samsung Blue.
Well, and
Really, really nice game.
yeah, that all credit to them too. This isn't necessarily SK Telecom played badly,
No,
but
not at all.
Samsung Blue has done a lot right this game.
Yeah. No, this has been just straight up SK Telecom getting outplayed.
Yep.
I mean, there's no other way to say it. Not a lot of huge mistakes from SKT. Faker not having the best game, obviously, but aside from that, Blue just looking better than we've ever seen them play before.
Yeah, and look at the vision control coming up. They have double oracles clearing out this jungle, making it risky for anybody to move through it. And now they've set themselves up for a really nice siege. They can see any kind of rotation coming through. They are so safe as they move in on the last remaining Tier 2 turret. This is a perfect setup for Samsung Blue, and this is just as meticulous could be. Very nice play overall.
Pretty much. The slow strangling of SK Telecom continues. And this game one, aside from a devastatingly bad team fight, is nearly all but wrapped up for these guys. I mean, all they need to do is play clean through the ending, and they've got this one.
Well, and of course, with Mondu still pretty darn squishy right here, he doesn't even have the Ruby Sightstone yet. It's extremely difficult for him to engage, and that means that getting into the back line for Impact is going to be next to impossible, because even if Mondu gets in there, they're probably going to kill him before Stand United finishes channeling. And so Shen, without Flash, is somewhat useless. That said, Impact does have that Flash up right now, but he's got to lock down Pawn and Deft. But with Pawn picking up those Merc Treads, not going to be as easy as it could be.
You know, and I do like Leona. I think she is a strong support champion right now still, but I mean, there's a reason why we don't see her as often in this scene as a lot of other supports, and that because
she's very one-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly. You know what someone playing Leona is going to do. You can do exactly what Blue did this game, which is just fall back, Leona's not going to dive you under turret for quite a while. You can have a very safe early game against Leona, and yeah, I mean, I got to question that Leona pickup a little bit.
Yeah, Pong going to clear out the top lane. They're probably waiting for another, they need another blue buff on this Nidalee to siege a base turret, because that's just going to take a lot longer than these outer turrets due to the architecture of the base and how safe it is to defend a base turret. So they need to wait for a little bit.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. They've got all the time in the world right now. As many of us have learned in solo queue, there's no time limit imposed on games of League of Legends.
Yes, that's right. Sometimes frustratingly.
For better or for worse.
Okay, well, they're continuing just to control the top side of the jungle, where you want to be right now if you want to make sure that you can get that Baron and ensure that SK Telecom is very reluctant to sneak that one out.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
And it's Baron, yeah. There we go. Samsung Blue going after the Baron. SK Telecom, they've got to have an idea this is going on, but is there anything at all they can do? I don't think they can even get there. No, they're not even going to try. And a completely unopposed Baron for Blue.
Yep.
Wow.
And there we go. Pon
Oh, there we go.
hops over the wall right there, checking with the True Shot Barrage, but
Timing for that wasn't so bad, actually.
yeah, he is just a little short, though.
Yeah.
So all he gets is not a Baron Snipe, just sadness.
Nothing but air. Air barrage.
Air Barrage.
And SK Telecom not looking too pleased right now.
Well, I guarantee you, Koma, their coach, is going to have a few words.
He looked so happy when we saw him earlier today. He was like, hey guys, that was a guy without a care in the world when we saw him before the match today, but I don't know about right now.
I think he's going to change his tune a little bit.
I think so. Yep. Oh well, he'll have to go home and cry into his piles of money if things go badly today, I guess.
He can wipe his tears with $1 million.
That's right. That wipes a lot of tears.
It does.
Yeah.
Many tears will be dried by that pile of cash.
Yeah.
Well, Samsung Blue should be making a move for the mid lane shortly. Still no blue buff onto Pawn here. Oh yeah, he did get it actually. Just kidding, Doa.
Just kidding. It's okay. You were testing me, and I didn't even try to answer the question, but I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Well.
just making sure all the waves are pushed up. Pretty methodical, standard closeout here. They don't want to take any risks when they have a chance to take down the world champions.
You know, they need to make a pizza chef Renekton skin where he has like his thing is like a big pizza cutter, you know?
There you go.
Wears like a top hat.
A top hat?
Another
Is that what you cook? Is that what you cook your pizza?
a chef's hat. I don't know. It's a kind of top hat, right?
Wow, you go to some fancy pizzerias.
I do. Only the best. It's that esports casting money, you know? All my pizza chefs wear top hats. I don't know where you go. They went to the Monte Cristo School of Pizza Baking Fashion, I guess. Can you blame them?
That's where I'm gonna.
I'm just trying
It's
to
the
appeal to your
business-
sensibilities, man.
That's the business I'm going to.
Whoa,
invest in.
Piglet nearly just instigated there. We ate pizza before the match today, actually. It was good. Not so good for SK Telecom right now. They're losing their mid inhibitor. There's just nothing they can do right now to stop Samsung Blue.
No, and
Oh, wow.
I mean, at this point, Pawn is just
Yeah.
so amazingly fed that he'll just launch those spears. He's got so much mana
Whoa.
regen between Blue, Athene's, and the Baron buff.
He's made it to the other side of the chessboard, and now he turned into like a queen or okay, I don't know.
Well, they got a good
Oh, they're
top
going to go in
down.
on it. Yeah, they do. Getting right onto Pawn in the back lines, but he's going to be able to duck out of it so quickly. And look at this, Bangy getting low. Incredibly fast. Impact stands uniting out of the fight. Doesn't want any part of that. Crescendo misses, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't make a bit of difference. Piglet about to die in the fountain. Nope, maybe not. I had my hopes up, but either way, 11-3 is the kill score. 8 turrets to 1. It's not going to get any better for SK Telecom. This game is over.
Yeah, and they're just going to go ahead and leave that inhibitor. No point right now. Bengi
Doesn't matter.
getting into the back, but this has been a pretty textbook example of how to siege from Samsung Blue. Very nice game from them, and a well-earned win over SK
GG.
Telecom T1.
Man, I almost clapped myself at the end of that game. That was impressive. Man, we've seen some impressive games this week.
Yes, we have.
Well,
Very, very clean game from Samsung Blue, showing